Henry McClure live. How you doing? So what I'm doing today is I'm going to learn how to do podcasting, and maybe I have a face for radio. But I don't know. We're going to give it a shot. I'm going to make my first podcast today. And I watched a YouTube video on how to do it. But one of the things I'd like to talk about today is my 42 years in the real estate business and some of the influential people that helped shape my real estate career and the positive influences they had on me. One of them I want to talk about is a friend of mine, Ben Blair. And through this process, I'd really like to get Ben, do a tribute to Ben. Hey, the guy's still alive, right? Well, hey, fill in some of the blanks for my history, because there's some things that I think are true. And when I read his bio on the Washburn alum, it leaves me, there's like a lot of gaps that probably need to be filled in. But so, all right, we're going to go to Audacity is the name of the program. Here, let's see. Switch you over there. Hey, we got a video blog and a podcast. So we're simulcasting. That's it. All right, so here we go. Henry McClure live. Let's see how to do this. Oh, here we go. File, new. Oh, I guess I was on the new page. Let's see if this record. Here we go. Henry McClure live. How are you today? This is my first podcast and experiment. We're simulcasting today over the YouTube channel. And now that I'm talking, Charlie Wilson's here. He wants to get in. It's very annoying having a dog. Here, you want to put your feet up here? You want to get in the video? So Charlie doesn't say much because he's my dog, but he wanted to get on the podcast. I guess the dog just wonders why. Well, what in the hell are you talking about? So anyway, having my arm leg is very distracting. So I'm going to stop this podcast. Okay, now I don't really need you to lick my arm. Number one, I don't like to be licked by you because you can lick your ass. All right, so here, let's start a new podcast. Why don't you just go lay down? Good boy. New. Okay, I guess it's just that easy. Welcome to Henry McClure Live. This is the maiden voyage of my podcast series. Today we're talking about my real estate career. And my real estate career actually started when I got fired from my life insurance job. I was selling life insurance for a company called Fidelity Union Life Insurance, which, by the way, back then, it actually wasn't a very good product for life insurance. You actually sold whole life insurance to college seniors on a note. And financing life insurance is actually a bad investment, which my stepdad later on, who owned an insurance company, pointed out. But actually, I sold a handful of commissions and bought a duplex. And I needed to renovate that duplex to get into it. So it took a little loved just so I could lay my head in it at night. And about a month later, I came back to my office and my real estate or my life insurance supervisor was sitting at my desk with his heels cooling on my desk. And hey, Conrad, how you doing? He goes, hey, I'm pretty good. Where you been? I said, I just bought a duplex and it needed some renovations, but I got to get back to work. I got to get in the real estate business. I need to make some commissions. I said, I need to make some commissions. And he says, boy, it sounds like you really like real estate. I go, yeah, I think this will be a good investment for me. It's a duplex. I got to get my side just so I can live in it. He goes, well, hey, here, hold on. He goes, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to get into real estate full time. So, bingo, bango, bongo. I go, hey, it sounds like I'm fired. He goes, well, you are. So I kind of leave my office shaking my head because I needed money. So I drove down to Bill Lewis Real Estate. Now, Bill, I knew from when I used to paint houses, and from gymnastics, he was my chiropractor, and he was also a full-time real estate guy. He was kind of a sickly young man, and through chiropractic, he got his health back. And he always would promote chiropractic to athletes to keep us in line so we could perform better. And so Bill explained to me the commission structure of the real estate business. And he said, now look, you can't rebate commissions. It's illegal for me from the state of Kansas. He says, but what I can do is I can give you a signing bonus. And he went through the gymnastics of listing commissions versus sale commissions. And since that was his listing, and as if I was the salesman, I would have earned like $325 commission. He goes, but this is a signing bonus for joining my company today. So you can go out and get the materials and pay the fees to take the test. And I said, great. So he calls the accountant. The guy brings me a check. And I'm already making money in the real estate business. I'm real happy. So I run down and show the check to Conrad, and I thank him for getting me focused on the real estate business. And I worked for about a year with Bill Lewis. Real estate commissions were interest rates back then were 10 to they were, I tell you what, I don't like the direction of this podcast. I'm getting bogged down in telling my stories. So I'm going to actually save this, and there's a way you can go back and pick it up. So here, let's save. Okay, here, let's stop. Save project. Here. Save project, save as. Save project is for Audacity project, not an audio file. For audio file that will open in other apps, use export. And that's okay, because I'm not done with that file. This must be like watching paint dry for you, whoever's watching. Yeah, see, somebody tuned in and they tuned right back out. So here, let's go to documents. Save this into, well, let's just create a file. Podcast. If you ever decide you want to make a podcast, they're saying is that you want to try to keep your talks down to like 10 minutes. And so I think what I'm going to do on this project, because I could talk 10 minutes on each one of the companies that I work for really easily. As you can see, I've always got a lot to say. But here, there's something else on my mind I want to talk about today. Hi, this is Henry McClure Live, coming to you from the top of the College Hill Pizza Pub here in lovely Topeka, Kansas. College Hill Pizza Pub was started in the summer of 2012, and our goal was to open 100 stores. Our best year that we had here, I think, was our third year at 1418 Southwest Lane, where we actually did $975,000 in sales, somewhere in that juncture. Then we opened up a store in Lawrence, Kansas, in the Oriad Hotel, which is a really nice, brand new hotel north of the KU campus. And then ultimately we opened up a store in Westridge Mall, which was going to be our signature store to show mall merchants or show mall owners that we had the ability to qualify to be in malls. In the good malls, you actually have to prove that you're worthy. You have to have the financial wherewithal, and you have to have a menu that the shoppers are going to like, and you have to have a store design that's going to be appealing to the shopping center and attract customers. And our goal was to do inside, outside locations, because my experience in the mall business is even at the good malls, you can probably find a vacancy in an entry mall. Then this way, hopefully, depending on how the store is designed, we would have the ability to have an inside-outside access. So if the mall closed their doors, say at 9 o'clock, we could still stay open till 12 or 2 in the morning, depending on what the drinking laws were, because we were a full-service bar with a quick-service menu. Well, some things have changed, and as time marched on, our operating partner one day elected to move to Kansas City. And eventually our operating partner lost interest in running the College Hill Pizza Pub and basically bowed out. And we first closed our Lawrence store, then the mall store, and then eventually, after me running College Hill Pizza Pub for 18 months. I elected to close it. I was having a lot of difficulty finding good employees, but also I'm just not the food guy. I wasn't the right guy. My heart was always in the real estate business that I'm now 42 years into, and now I get to use my abilities as a real estate broker to sell the opportunity. The property was built in the early 70s by a guy named Otto and his wife. And Otto was a German. He actually operated in a bar or in a building right next to this location. And a lot of the people that drank with Otto were contractors and painters, electricians, plumbers. So Otto, with a nice store design, built a very solid building. The building is structurally sound. The second level is actually the concrete floor, helps maintain the sound barrier. And you've got about almost 1,900 square feet of space in the second level above a fully equipped restaurant. And I'm thinking today, with all the turmoil in our country, that there's got to be a pizza operator or a food operator that lives in New York or Minneapolis or Seattle or Los Angeles, some of these big cities that have treated the current medical issues around the coronavirus, or they got their shop destroyed and looted and burnt out. I'm a guy that has lived from coast to coast when I worked for the Macerich Company, who's now the third largest mall owner in the country, who got their start basically here in Topeka, Kansas, by developing what at the time was an Arlen discount department store. And they did 16 Arlen deals in the Midwest between Oklahoma, Missouri, and Iowa. Arlen eventually went bankrupt. And Dana Anderson of the Macerich Company was friends with the director of real estate of Dayton Hudson, who they had a new discount department store open called Target. Target had 7 stores open at the time. And after Dana was done, they had 14 new locations, taking the Macerich Arlen locations, except Target turned down Topeka and Target turned down Joplin, Missouri. So Dana made a deal with a company out of Omaha called Richmond Gordman that later became Half Price Store, or it might have been vice versa. It might have started off as Half Price Store, but now it's called Gordman's, owned by Stage, and Stage has now gone bankrupt. And in Joplin, Missouri, the Arlen's deal was the first 90,000 square foot Walmart deal. After all those deals got settled and open, Lou Falley, who had developed the White Lakes Mall, asked Mace and Dana to purchase the White Lakes Mall here in Topeka. And from White Lakes Mall, the Macerich Company leveraged that purchase into becoming the third largest mall owner, and basically the birth of one of the more successful real estate companies ever. I really enjoyed my time working at the Mace Rich Company. They moved me from Topeka to Winter Park, Florida, Boulder, Colorado, Chattanooga, Tennessee, back to Boulder, then to Greeley, Long Beach, California, where I also had a mall in Reno, Nevada called the Park Lane Mall, commuting back and forth like a ping pong ball, having some of the most fun days of my life. Then ultimately I moved to Ventura with Mace Rich. And then in my real estate career and my infinite wisdom, I decided to start an internet shopping channel. And in '95, I thought that shopping on the internet was someday going to be popular. But after a year of that, I went to Kansas City, to Tampa, and home. And I love being back in Topeka. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here in the Midwest to have a more kinder, gentler lifestyle. And for anybody that listens to this podcast that got burnt out, and you're not settling by coming to Topeka for anything other than a great way of life. I lived in LA for almost 10 years. I lived down in Florida, and I traveled all over the country. And there's so many beautiful places in our American experiment of capitalism. But you won't find a finer place that you could call home than Topeka, Kansas. So if you have interest in coming to Topeka and buying my pizza restaurant, that would be great. Or let's piece together 400 or 500 acres of land and build a community. Relocate your business here, relocate your people, build new homes. We've got great land values and a great way of life. So I think this is a real opportunity for people to come to Topeka, start business over, start life over. Call Henry McClure, 785-235-3353. I'm live, Henry McClure. Well, that's one. I ramble on so much. But I'm going to post that one up. So it says export, file, export as an MP3. I'll go to podcasts. We're going to call this one Pizza Puff, PP1. Could not open. Oh, well, let's see here. Audacity needs the file. To get a free copy of Lane Clicker, fuck. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's go for it, baby. Here's probably one of these free free projects. Now they're going to start nicking you. Man, I just don't have the patience. You can't really see the computer. All right, we'll download it, baby. Let's go. Oh, wait. Get a free copy. Well, anyway, whoever's hanging in there on this show, you must have walked away. Firefox installer. Huh. Cannot open. All right, well, let's see if there's another way to export this. I thought the thing said the best was as an MP3. Oh, there it goes. Firefox was over there. It was asking me to install it. Or is that install a Firefox? Shit. It's not about having Firefox right now. Leave me alone. Well, I'm going to get Firefox no matter what. Well, I think I'm going to take a break. Henry McClure Live.